What's going on, guys? So if you didn't know, Donald Trump has a terrible record. Let's just dive right into it. On the economy, 23 million jobs lost, 20% unemployment rate, 4.8% GDP contraction for Q1 of 2020. The stock market saw its 8th largest single-day net drops in history. He increased taxes on 10 million plus Americans. It's projected that $3.7 trillion deficit for 2020. It's a projected 40% GDP contraction for Q2 of 2020. A projected 5.6% GDP contraction for 2020 overall. He's projected to add $6.5 trillion to the national debt in one term. On corruption and morality, 18,000 public lies since taking office, 3,000 current conflicts of interest. He cut 700,000 poor people off food stamps. He's committed tens of impeachable offenses. He's an impeached president. He's an administration with the most criminal indictments in U.S. history. He called African countries, quote, shithole countries. He's mocked a disabled reporter. He called a group of Nazis fine people. He started a fake university to exploit students. He shipped a kids' cancer charity money to his businesses. 25 women have accused the president of sexual misconduct. He openly bragged about sexual assault. Quote, grab him by the pussy. He paid off a porn star he slept with while Melania was pregnant with Barron. And he's appointing the most billionaires to administrative positions in U.S. history. On the environment, the dude denies climate change. He's drastically increased oil and gas production. He's unwound 50 years of environmental regulation protections. He withdrew from the Paris Climate Accord. He made a climate denier head of the EPA. He's on track to drastically expand offshore oil drilling. On foreign policy, he increased the annual military spending by $130 billion every year. He increased drone strikes by 432%. He abandoned the Kurds in Syria. He almost started a war with Iran. He has dropped tens of thousands of bombs in the Middle East since taking office. On healthcare, 16.2 million more Americans are uninsured for healthcare. He deliberately raised ACA premiums for 7.3 million people. He defined Planned Parenthood with the global gag rule, and to give him to COVID-19, most coronavirus cases of any other country, most coronavirus deaths of any other country. He cut the CDC budget in both 2018 and 2019. He halted funding to the World Health Organization. And the cherry on top, he encouraged people to drink chloroquine and inject disinfectants as a way of fighting the coronavirus. Immigration. He expanded the U.S.-Mexico border wall. He's still working on it. He reduced the number of refugees in the United States. He's enacting measures to reduce the number of asylum seekers. He's cutting off government assistance to undocumented immigrants. He's putting restrictions on legal immigration. He has begun removal of the protections of dreamers. He's implemented a travel ban on 13 countries to, quote, stop Muslims from entering the United States. He's keeping 70,000 migrant children in custody as well as cages in some instances. And he's given more power to ICE. And lastly, he picked an education secretary who's out to gut public education, wants to end public service loan forgiveness, and he repealed net neutrality. Wow, so if you're still voting for Donald Trump over Joe Biden this November, you've got some serious explaining to do. Alright, so here are the sources I used, and that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching.